Welcome back, everybody, to the Round 4 Bronze Challenger match between KT Rolster and SBENU. We are doing the TriCast today. It's been a lot of fun so far.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's been almost a year, really, since we've actually sat down and done this.
That's that's actually a really long time. We're all looking good.
Yeah, we got our shirts. We brought them in today.
Yeah, we wanted to look special. You look great, Brendan.
Thank you, Moonblade. You look quite spiffy yourself.
Wolf looks good too.
Thanks, guys.
But his shirt's a little big, mate.
a little big on the shirt today, but it's got my initials on it, so it's cool, right?
That actually makes it 10 times cooler.
Very better. What? It's very cool. Very cool.
Very better.
Very better.
Very better.
Good English.
All right, let's see who we're gonna see here. I expect Curious. I think DRG comes out later, but then again, DRG gets nervous in high pressure situations.
Well, I certainly think it is going to be Curious. And it is. And not as too much of a surprise. I think DRG is the heavier hitter this time around. And I mean, Curious, he's been doing fantastic this year. He's just really been lifting his game. Got that championship at DreamHack that me and Valdez costed.
I mean, it's definitely been one of his better years for sure, but hasn't been overly dominant in Pro League, really.
Yeah.
Has had a much better time in individual leagues for sure.
Well, Life is known for his great ZBZ. In Pro League, he's 3-5, but in individual leagues for months and months and months, people are saying he's the best ZBZ player in the world. He knows exactly when to drone, when to attack. He's got that star sense. But we'll see if he can actually carry this momentum now going into a very large map that I feel Curious has played more ZBZs on in televised matches recently.
I could agree with that. And he really won his championship off the back of ZBZs as well. Like, he was looking like a god over there in Valencia, so I think it's going to be a hard one for Life, to be honest.
Yeah, I think this may be one of his biggest challenges yet. I feel like if Life does win this one, we may even see him go on to win a couple more. But we'll have to wait and see. Jumping into game number 3 here is going to be Life versus Curious on Cactus Valley. Down here on the bottom left in the red, winning that last game against MMA, it is Life.
And cross spawns across the map for SBENU. It's Curious, DreamHack winner, off the back of ZBZ, as Moonblade said before.
Yeah. Well,
whoa.
Yeah, that was cool. Cross map, Cactus Valley, ZBZ. I think we're going to see some pretty juicy roach play, which is always a fantastic thing to see, in my opinion. Really drawn out games based on positioning and mechanics rather than Ling Bane all in.
You don't think we're going to see Mutalist play?
I think we could open with Mutalist, but I don't think it's going to kill either player. I think it's kind of like a transitional thing where you try and get ahead with mutas, but you don't kill with mutas. You got to follow up with roaches eventually.
Yeah, I do get the feel that both these guys definitely, you know, they appreciate their opponent. They respect him. They're not going to do anything too cheesy, too all in. And I'm sure, as you were saying, Moonblade, nothing really too early. If they do go into Mutalist, maybe just a bit of a transition later on.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how greedy these players play as well, or how safe they are. You know, Life's got a little bit of a lead here, winning that last game, so he's probably more inclined to take more chances, where Curious, he really has to try and play catch-up. He probably has to play a safer game. He is one of the better players on SBENU, so they really are counting on him to try and win this game.
Yeah, I feel like the two home run hitters for SBENU today have to be Curious and DRG. If you look at the rest of the lineup that they've got left, Bomber, is he really going to carry today? You look at Jockji, it's like, I'm a bit worried. You know, I'm a bit stressed.
If you're counting on Jockji at this point, you got to be a bit worried, to be honest. He has been very underwhelming.
I feel like Jockji can win a TPP versus, say, Zest, but he's never going to be favored in that matchup. I think that's what I'm going to save him for if DRG is gone. But even then, it's like, are you sending Jockji out against Zest? Is that your plan? Is that what's going to happen?
When you say that he can win against Zest, do you mean like he's got, what, like a 5-10% chance? Or like a 25?
2%?
because
I'm like 15%.
15?
15%, yeah.
I think it's based on if the Widow Mines hit the right targets when he goes for the drop.
Oop, Overlords see each other.
Oh.
Peekaboo, found ya.
no, man, he plays League of Legends.
Yeah?
Oh.
Peekaboo.
I
Valdez.
Sorry, guys.
I
Sorry.
thought that was Peekaboo.
The forbidden words have been spoken. Oh. Let's see what it actually means there. Both players are going to be scouting each other pretty late, so they're really in the dark. And the Overlord's in this kind of position on the map. It's like, well, I just don't know what he's doing. Could be all in for all I know. It could be massing lings right now. And they're making this set of lings right now to kind of scout each other out and figure each other out. But in this kind of map, if they were to be so inclined as to go for some kind of all-in, it's very hard to defend and know about it.
Yeah, it's just going to be kind of one of those slower sort of mid-game, or, into mid-game, sort of early games. And we might see blind bailing nest for both these players. It's not absolutely necessary on this map, because obviously it's, far away, but you might see that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a decently open choke here. I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to just do it for safety.
Yeah.
For sure. We do see Curious putting that down. And on the back foot of that, just making more drones. So no big swell of lings just yet.
Ooh, he's actually going to get in here. This is a bit of a mistake by Life. What will he actually see?
You'll probably see the exact same build has been done with a little bit later of a bailing nest. So I think both sides are pretty happy right now. They're like, oh, okay, it's kind of like a gentleman's agreement. We can both kind of sit back, and maybe some lings will be made from both sides just for defensive sake, but I doubt we're going to see a commitment.
Look at the timing of the metabolic boost for these two players. It's like, could not be closer.
Yeah.
And look at this. It's going to finish up as Life gets one ling into the main. So going to be a bit harder here for Curious to shut it down.
So Curious decides to make 2 defensive banelings, which will actually be scouted here. I think the reason why is because he sees the bailing nest is in the main base, which is a bit more threatening seeming, and he just does this for safety here. And we see a quicker lair is on the way for Life. He continues to try to get any sort of scouting information he can find.
Yeah, Life certainly going to be looking for mutas. We'll see how many gases are added for Curious and if a Roach Warren's thrown down any time in the next 30 seconds. Because if it is, it'll certainly be like a very quick Roach speed compared to Life's fast 4 gas muta opening.
Oh, well, Curious getting a lot of his own gas as well. He has finished up 2 more, and he's got 1 more in the main about to finish here.
Okay. So most likely, yeah, it's going to be that muta versus muta to start things off, but I give Live quite the lead at this point because he just hasn't been investing in banelings. He got his extra gases a lot quicker. He's had map control this whole time. Only now forced out to make some lings, but he's still completely fine.
Oh, especially with that baneling hit. Definitely going to give him a nice little tempo lead going into this defense. 16 more lings on the way for Curious. I'm a bit surprised by this. Looks like he's expecting Life to drop down the 3rd hatchery, and he wants to be ready for that.
Yeah, well, that's the name of the game when it comes to muta versus muta as well. It's all about who gets the 3rd base up, who gets theirs denied, because that's one way you do lose the game against mutas if you're going muta versus muta and you're down a base, or your base has been delayed so much that the muta count is so different.
Life taking some more good trades in the middle of the map, and he also gets his Spire much earlier than Curious. Also got that extra gas you were mentioning.
Oh.
Look at this. Ling's going to come in and definitely cancel that 3rd base.
It's just a lack of awareness from Curious. This should not have happened considering what he had seen earlier. It looks like he actually will defend this.
Yeah, Life not going to commit to it by the looks of things. Same time, Life's getting a hit.
Oh, man, this is actually going to turn into a really bad situation for Life, actually. If he doesn't get over there, there's the cancel.
Oh, my God.
Oh! Worth it. Worth it.
Yeah, and Life is coming back here.
To be
He's
fair,
got more lings coming in towards that 3rd base.
The same thing happened to Life at Curious's 3rd, so both exchanging some bad hits and banelings. He should be able to close this one out, too. There's not enough lings there.
I'm just surprised that Life didn't commit to the 3rd base earlier on. I guess he thought that he could have gotten away with it. Life still has not remade that 3rd base of his own.
Yeah, he's made so many lings here. I'm a bit surprised. This is kind of a funny fight we're seeing here because Curious even fighting with drones and Life is still going to let this base go because it had so many hit points. Just going to commit to Mutalist instead. The +1 carapace upgrade on the way. 7 mutas. And Curious is going to come into the main base and get a scout off. Let's see if he can get banelings up in time. I don't know.
Life's going to commit to this now if he wants to try and stop it from happening.
Yep, he really does have to. And look at this. He's getting very heavily supply blocked at the same time.
Oh, he does not commit, and he loses a lot of lings here. But he might be able to kill this still. It's actually going to be so close. Queen helping out.
Just not enough left over there. Life's going to maybe have to count on his mutas to do the damage. You see actually 12 lined up for Curious as well, so he's in a pretty healthy state. I think he's actually going to have the Mutalisk lead.
Yep, he definitely will. I mean, Life is making them now, but they are going to just be a bit later here.
Actually, a seven worker lead as well for Curious, so he's actually so far ahead right now.
Defends his queen.
Life really falling apart in that exchanges.
Just not having the best reaction time. He lost a lot of drones on the main base during that fight. You know, like 6 to 8 lings got into his main, and he just was trying to micro his attacking lings at the same time.
Pretty even in supplies right now. We actually do see Life's Carapace upgrade a lot further along, which is going to have a big deal if the Muta counts aren't too far apart.
And the Muta counts right now are 14 to 12 in Life's favor. And he's actually just going to go straight up for a fight right now.
Wow, I guess he's confident enough, but it's going to be a hard one.
Yeah. It's with the queen there, and it's right before he finishes his +1 Carapace, kind of an anti-timing there.
Yeah, that did not make sense at all. Not underneath the base there, not with a queen that's going to transfuse a Mutalisk. And now he's behind in Muta count.
Yeah, and Curious's +1 armor is getting close to being finished now as well, so he's going to have this slight window of time where he's ahead, but I don't think it's going to be enough for him to make any plays. He does have a few lings over here to spot for ling run-bys, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to defend the huge ling run-by Curious is sending across the map right now, so somewhat concerning here. If he sees it a bit too late, he might lose some drones or perhaps even a queen.
And look at that, even in the middle of the map. Maybe Life didn't have all his mutas bunched up, as the number shows us, but he does have the upgrade. He does have the lead in his upgrade.
Oh,
hold that thought.
Here's that run-by I was talking about. Let's see if he can actually defend this. Ooh, Curious mismarking, losing a muta there, but he's going to get a queen for it.
Yeah, Life going to take a lot of damage here.
Life going for the queen of Curious, but look at how many drones are going down here. 9, and the lings are still up.
Oh, this is just not lifelike play that we're seeing right now in ZVZ. He's just being outclassed by perhaps maybe even this new meta. He's not as familiar with it. Curious has dominated in many, many times recently even.
Yeah, I don't know. It really just comes down to multitasking as well. Like, Life just really failing in decision-making and multitasking, not killing this hatchery that is still in the red. I don't know, some really big blunders there, which have really put him behind. Not out of the game yet, but if it keeps going this way, he's just going to be 2 behind in Mutalisk count, basically.
Life in the middle of the map now. He's looking for that fight.
This is not the fight he wants to take, though. He's way down on mutas, and reinforcements are coming in. He's taken another bad fight. He never killed the queen. At the third base, it was down to like 8 health. He's just missing all these things by just a step every time. He's going to lose a few overlords here.
Yeah. Curious looking for that edge.
24 to 23 in Mutalisk count as well. So it's not really in favor enough of Curious to end the game, but he can bully Life at least a little bit here.
He's got this one Baneling here, which would be so funny. He killed another queen. He traded evenly with lings, and he's got full gas mining up here. Actually missing 1 drone there, but otherwise keeping it decent. Life again with a slight flyer upgrade lead with a +1 finishing now.
Life never remade that queen at the third base.
Yeah, that could really come back to bite him. If we see like another ling run by as well.
I think he remade it as naturally. He's trying to walk it over, and then Curious just killed it, you know? I mean, definitely want to remake it at your third base, but he was trying to get one up. Just Curious is not giving him any room to breathe.
And it seems like he's just forgotten it at this point, not going to remake it just now.
Yeah.
He's supply blocked so slightly.
So many lings from Curious as well. Like, Curious is going to do a huge attack on the third, baiting out the mutas now, and so many lings coming in.
So many lings coming in here, and if the mutas chase, then he can actually hit the natural. So many overlords being caught out as well. This multitasking here from Life is lacking. I mean, this is one of the most important things in muta versus muta, is to keep your overlords pulled back.
Even losing an extractor like this is huge.
This is beautiful multitasking from Curious. You really have to give it to him. I mean, the lings are coming in. He's drawn the mutas so far out of position. 10 more drones, 12. He may even lose his third hatchery.
This is starting to really, really snowball here.
Well, he's going to defend it for now, but with this lack of gas income, you know, he's down to extractors that puts him so far behind, he's going to get really behind in the Mutalisk count.
He needs to, I feel like, try to use a few Bailings to defend that third base with some spores and try to switch into infestors. He's never going to win a muta game here ever at this point.
Well, he's going to try.
He gets a better start of this fight, but he just doesn't have the Mutalisk count to compete.
Yeah, they're pretty neck and neck right now. It's about 25 each.
Yeah, but more mutas coming across here. Life has some of his own, but just barely. losing in that snowball fight. It's still very close, but 16-9 now, and the Lings are coming back.
Oh, man.
GG.
Wow. Beautifully done from Curious, really showing his expertise in the matchup. He had a far better understanding of how to deal with that, far better multitasking. Life really falling apart in a very weird way, very uncharacteristic way.
Yeah. That just really didn't look like Life to me.
I
Looked
agree.
like a different Zerg player in the booth there. I'm not really sure what's going on.
That looked like Departure to me, or Sue on an off day or something. Like, that was not
Solar.
Life. Yeah, Solar maybe.
All right. Ease up, guys. Stop
Coda
being so mean.
Coda is the next map. I think it's time for Zest to step in, or at least Stats.
I think it might be time for Zest. Well, the next map after that is Terraform, then Echo, then Vani again. I mean, if you're going to send out Zest, it could be now. I'm trying to think of who else you might want to send. If they are going to use TY, they could use TY.
Yeah, I mean, this would be the TY map if they are going to use them for sure. Also, Vani Research Station towards the end. We've seen Stats come out on that map very often. So if they do feel like it's going to Game 7, maybe they want to save Stats for now. Allow Zest to maybe pick up 2 more kills and go from there.
Definitely a lot of different potential picks here for KT Rolster. I think they have a lot more depth to their lineup than SBENU does.
Is it going to be Super?
Definitely not.
Super, I'm a big fan of Super, to be honest.
I am too.
He's a great player. I don't know if he's at the level of Zest or Stats, but
unfortunately,
you're mean.
He's actually played.
So mean.
Hey, look, let's take a step back. He's played some really impressive games this year. At the beginning of the season, some of the individual league games he played, he qualified for the first Kespa Cup, for example. He showed some decent games there. He's a great practice partner to have in their lineup. I look at him as like a similar player to like Hush, for example. He clearly adds something to the team.
Yeah.
And maybe he's a sniper, because now that we're in this all-kill format, sniper players are much more valuable. So it's not out of the question to see him today.
I mean, who was it? It was Billowy, right, when he was on MVP for round 2 last season?
Yeah.
Where we were like, oh, Billowy's going to come out. That's kind of interesting. And then he just all-kills, I think it was KT.
Yeah, it was KT.
Yeah,
and, crazier things have happened here, guys, than Super maybe coming out here. So
Absolutely. So, I mean, just, got to keep all these sort of ideas in mind.
It's like maybe they send out first, man.
Well, he won.
Yeah,
He got second place.
Definitely.
Second place at Gfinity.
To Departure, yeah. I mean, well, are we being too harsh today, guys?
Wow, did she just grab him and kiss him on stream? I didn't see what happened back there.
Oh, I missed it. Damn it.
I think that might have happened. But I think reasonable picks, Zest and Stats. Stats, I feel like most people would say Stats is the better pick in this particular case, because he's like, you want to save Zest perhaps for Vani Research Station, as Valdez mentioned before.
Well, I was actually saying Stats for Vani Research
Oh, you were
Station.
saying Stats for Vani.
Yeah,
Okay.
just because he oftentimes comes out on that map. But I mean, we've seen this from KT before. They really like to play the maps. They want to send out players who play on those certain maps very often. But, do they want to save Zest for the last pick? He's had a ton of pressure on him the entire season.
I think they should send him out now when it's not too heated. Like, they give him some time here to rebuild the momentum, and then maybe send out TY last.
I like
instead of Zest.
I like that on Vani Research Station, because I feel like sending Zest out, or rather, TY out right now is a bit risky versus Curious, who's shown quite strong defense in late game versus Mech.
It's where he wants to go, to be honest. He wants he'll take it late game every time. He's waiting for it to happen. If you send out Zest now, Zest stops the momentum and maybe gets a couple of wins. And if he loses, it's kind of in the Terran map territory as well. So it's like, okay, TY, you come out here.
More kiss cam here.
Uh-oh.
She gave the thumbs up. Success.
I like the hat, too.
Wow.